Welcome. In today's video, we want to look at how to find reports on QuickBooks Desktop. For you to access your reports, you have to come to this tab and click on Reports. When you click on Reports, you'd find this menu will come up. Right. You can access all your reports via the Report Center. If you click on Report Center, you'd find it will launch the Report Center, whereby you've got this list of reports, company and financial. Under this, you find your profit and loss in various formats, and you also, if you were to scroll down, you would also find your balance sheet in various formats. If you want to access customer and receivables, you just click there, then it will launch your reports to do with customers and receivables. You can select the type of report that you want to see. The same goes for sales, jobs, time and mileage, suppliers and payables, VAT, purchases, and all these other reports. So this is one way of finding your reports on QuickBooks. You go via what? Reports, then a report center. Another way of finding these reports is you could click on reports. Let me just close this window so that we've got a clear view. Right. You could still come back to reports. Then you come down here. You go again heading by heading and access your various reports. Under company and financials, you'd find again, that's where you find your profit and loss reports as well as your balance sheet. So you've got a number or a variety of profit and loss like reports, starting with the profit and loss standard and all these other details. The same goes here. You've got your standard balance sheet and the other variations. So if you again want to access your VAT reports, you just come here. You've got these various VAT reports. The same goes for customers and receivables. You've got these various reports that you can access. Again, on sales, you have got again a variation of reports that you can access. The same goes for jobs, time and mileage. These are the reports that you can find. Under suppliers and payables, these will be your reports, right? So for each, like for stock, you have this. That's where you find the stock valuation report and all the other details that you want to find. On banking, you'd find deposit detail, the check detail, reconciliation discrepancies. So you have got these reports. Then on accounting and taxes, that's where you find your trial balance. So if you are looking for your trial balance or your general ledger, that's where you find it here, right? Budgets and forecasts, if you've done budgets and you want to compare with actuals, again, that's where you find it. The same goes on lists. You'd find the various lists that you have on QuickBooks. So let's say, for example, you just wanted to see your profit and loss standard. You could come here on company and financial, then you click on profit and loss standard. When you click there, you'd find your report will launch. So your report will basically launch. Mine doesn't have transactions, but what you have to take note is here you have to select the period that you want to cover. So you click there for you to select the period. If you want to run this month by month, or if you want to run it probably over a period of time, let's say from 1 January up to date. So you select here 1 January 2023 up to 2 June 2023. Then you just click on refresh. You'd find when you do that, if there are transactions, like in this case now, it is loaded up because I'm covering period 1 January to 2 January. The company name will be up here and you have these details. So basically this will be your profit and loss standard, right? If you want to view another report, you just close this one. You'd find the system might prompt you to memorize this report. What it basically means is you've modified the settings of this report. Adding this report to the memorize report list to save these settings for future use. Would you like to memorize this report? If you memorize this report, it means the next time that you are accessing this, you won't have to go this procedure. It will be quicker for you to access the report. So let's say probably I want to memorize it. So I will just click on yes, right? When I click on yes, I have to give it a name. So I can just give it a name, profit and loss. Profit and loss, let me put year 2023, right? Then I click on OK. So when I click on OK, that report has been memorized. What it means is next time when I want to find, or when I want to just use the format of that report, I just come to reports, right? I click on reports, then I now click on memorized reports. You'd find that report will be in the list of memorized reports. So basically, this is how you are accessing your profit and loss. If you wanted to find your balance sheet, you would just again come to company and financial, then you click on this UK standard balance sheet. I'm using Premier, so it gives that. So you just click on that. In your balance sheet will load up. So your balance sheet will be S8. So this is my balance sheet S8 to June 2023. If I want to view it as at a different date, I have to come up here and then select the date. See, select the date. Let's say probably I want to see it at a date like 2 February 2023. So I select that date, then I click on refresh. You'd find now as at this date there were no transactions. So basically this is how you do it. Let's say you don't want, like as I said, I'm using the Premier edition, UK edition. So probably let's say I don't want this UK to be on my description here. How do I do it? I have to customize the report. So I click on customize report. Then it will bring up this. So I'll just come up here. Then I click on header and footer. So I click there. Then on the report title, I just come here on the report title. Then I remove the UK, right? Backspace. Then I remove it. Then I click on OK. You'd find when I do that now, my report will not have the UK prefixing this description. It will just have balance sheet standard. So basically, this is how you deal with your balance sheet. If you want to memorize, you click on memorize. Then you follow the procedure. Okay, let's say we click on memorize. Then you could just again save it, balance sheet standard. Then probably you add a year so that you know the year in which you are using this format. Then you click on OK. Now that report is now in my list of memorized reports. If you are done, then you click on OK. So these are the most standard reports that you look at: the income statement and the balance sheet. And as I said, you may also want to look at your trial balance. It's another thing that accountants work with. So if you are to look at the trial balance, again, you have to come to reports, accountant and taxes. Then you click on trial balance. So you click on trial balance. When you click on trial balance, you'd find your trial balance will load up. Then so this will be basically your trial balance. Again, you have to come here and select the period that you want to cover. So you have got a from date that you have to select. Let's say probably I want to see my trial balance from 1 January. So I click there. Then probably I want to see it up to as of today. Then I click on this date. Then I refresh. Right. When I do that, you'd find this is my trial balance now. It will show the debits which are on my accounts, and you also show the credits and the balance it off. If I want to memorize this, I can just click on memorize. Then I can give it a name like trial balance year 2023. All right. It means again this report will be in my list of memorized reports for easy access. So basically, we have looked at the income statement, the balance sheet, and the trial balance. Other reports have to do with customers, which again you have to come to reports. And if you want to see your customer reports, just come to customers and receivables. Here you have got a number of reports: accounts receivable aging summary, accounts receivable aging detail, uh, customer balance summary, customer balance detail. See, so you have just to select, like, okay, probably let's say we want to see the balances on a particular account of a customer. We can come and click on customer balance detail. So when you click there, you'd find it will load up the customer balance detail report. So in this case, we only have got one customer, Southern Stone Enterprises. Then we have for this transaction which was done on 3rd May, and it's of this amount. So if we had a number of customers here, we're going to have a list. If we're done like invoices, payments, credit notes, they're going to be listed here. So this gives sort of a detailed account of transactions which have been posted on a particular customer's account. So again, if you wanted to memorize it, you will just come there, click on memorize, then follow the procedure which I've shown you on the previous reports. So basically on customer reports, you have got a number of customer reports. What you just have to do is to select the one that you find appropriate. You can just go one by one on the reports list. Just view one report by one report. Don't forget to select the period from, and the period to. This is very important because you want to see a transaction over a period of time. So you should select the from date and the to date, so that all the transactions that you want to view are listed here. If you don't select the period being covered by the report, it means some transactions may be missing and you might think that your report is not accurate. So basically, that's how you do it. So the system is prompting me if I want to memorize. If I want, I will just click on yes. Then I follow the procedure to memorize. If I don't want, I will just click on no. Then that report is closed. Now, the other reports that you work with is the suppliers and payables report. Again, you'd find you've got a number of reports here which are listed. But if you want to see like the details, transactions which have gone through a particular supplier's account, you can work with the supplier balance detail. So when you click there, you'd find this report will load up. And now you'd find we've got one supplier here, query. We bought these items of 2,500,000. But as I said, don't forget to select the date from. The from date is very important because you have to select the period that you want to cover in this report so that you don't miss out any transaction. So the from and the to. All right, let me put in the from here. So I want to put the from. Let's say this report we're running it from 1 January. Then we also have to select the to date. So let's say we're running it from 1 January up to date. So today 2 to June. So we are running it from 1 January to 2 June. Then we just refresh. When you refresh, you'd find now the transactions are listed. If we had a number of suppliers here, they're all going to be listed. If we had run through invoices on a supplier account, debit notes, payments, they were going to be shown. So basically, this is how you view your reports on suppliers and payables. As I said, you'd find it under supply and payables. There are a number of reports. Again, you'd find the system will prompt me. If I want to memorize this report, I just click on yes. Then it can bring up this supplier balance detail. Then I could just put the year there or the month that I'm working in. Then I click on OK. Right. You'd find this report will be in my list of memorized reports. So you see, basically, I'm just looking at the main reports that you work with: income, profit and loss, balance sheet. Then under customers and receivables, you've got this list of reports. You just have to select the appropriate one. In my case, I demonstrated using the customer balance detail. And then I went on to suppliers and payables, and I demonstrated using the supplier balance detail. But as you can see, there are a number of reports which I urge you to go one by one and see how these reports work. The other report which is of importance probably is the stock valuation report. If you work with the stocks, you may want to see the stock valuation report. So when you come to stock, you can come to stock, then you click on stock valuation detail. This report will show you all the stock items that you have, and it will show you the detail of those stock items. But again, you have to select the period that you want to cover. Like in this case, let's say again, I want to cover from 1 January. So I have to just go back and click on 1 January up to 2 June, which is already selected. Then I refresh. You'd find the list of items or the list of items which have gone through my stock accounts will come up. this shows detail. Like in this case, we've got this quarry dust. We bought quarry dust of 5,000 tons at that price. Then we sold 1,000 tons. Then what is remaining is 4,000, and the cost is that. So basically, this will show you detailed account item by item, right? If you wanted to see a summarized, if I want to memorize, I could click on yes, but in my case, I don't want to memorize, right? If you want to see just a summary, you will just again come to reports, stock, then you click on stock valuation summary. When you click on stock valuation summary, you find what you have now. It's not a detailed list, right? It's just now a summary. If you had a number of stock items here, they're going to be listed here. So here you've got the stock, the description, then the quantity on hand, average cost, then the total value. Then you've got percentage of total assets. If we had a number of assets, you'd find this percentage was going to be different. So basically on stock reports, that's how you view them, right? The other reports that may interest you if you are into buying and selling, you'd find is the sales reports. So you can see your daily sales summary. If you just want to see the sales that you have done, you can see the daily sales detail, and you can even see sales by customer summary, sales by customer detail, sales by item. So again, here under this, you can analyze your sales in much detail. Sales by sales rep summary. So these are like sales representatives. You want to see how they are performing, you can see it in detail. And these other reports. The same goes for purchases. If you want to analyze the purchases that you have done, you can analyze your purchase by supplier as a summary. You want to see the supplier, the main suppliers that you're dealing with, you can use these reports to view that. Purchases by supplier detail, purchases by item summary, purchases by item detail, open purchase orders, and all that. So you've got a number of reports. And as I said again, if you were using like budgets, you would actually even view your budgeted sales, like your budgeted performance against the actual. And you could just come here on budgets and forecast, then you click on budget versus actual. That is if you are using budgets. So like in this case, no budgets exist. So I should have done budgets before. I've done a video on how to do budgets. You can watch that video. Once you do those budgets and you post your actuals, you'll be able to generate this report. In my case, I had not done budgets, so it says budgets not existing. So basically, this is how you do your reports. These are basic reports that you are supposed or you should be able to produce on QuickBooks Accounting. Thank you for watching. If you find this video useful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. See you in the next video.